Okay, so obviously this card's about a struggle. It's a bit of a mess. You know, everyone's fighting. No one's the leader. No one knows what they're doing. So it's a huge mess. I always see this as the mess card. So there's a struggle here. I think it's a struggle that you're used to, actually. I think you're struggling to keep your autonomy, to keep your individuality. I'm hearing things like, you know, why are you doing it that way? They do it this way. You should do it like them. Why are you doing that? Why don't you do it like everyone else? That's the kind of thing I'm getting. And you have a really, really individual way of doing things, not just in your work, but in all areas of your life. And I think this was about work, because I'm seeing some kind of service or business. It's something where you're doing things for other people. I'm getting a not very nice feeling around this, because I think it's almost like some people are being ungrateful. Not everyone, but some people were. I can't quite see if it's your business or if you're working for someone else, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It could be either. You're doing this thing, you're doing this service, this business, whatever you're doing, you're helping people, you're doing things for people, and you're doing things your way. But I think there were some people who saw some people who came before you, who did this before you, or it might be people who are your boss or something like that, and they saw someone else as a kind of a benchmark and they measured you against that. That's what I'm seeing, if that makes sense. Now, there's actually no benchmark. This is just something they were imagining. And, you know, you're you, they're them. Everyone's different, and you're a very different person, and that's a good thing. You're an individual. So yeah, I think you were struggling with a few criticisms, complaints, all of that kind of thing. But I think you took this in your stride, actually, because you've had a lifetime of this kind of, you know, people saying things about you being different, wanting you to conform to things, all of that kind of thing. There are some people who don't like the fact that you're different, and I think you've always had that. Maybe even when you were growing up you had that, because you think very differently. You're just very different, and you're not going to change. You're not going to be like the people on this card. Look at them. There's no focal point. No one's standing out here. Everyone looks similar. You're not like that. So always stay strong in that. You know, you stand out, and that's a really good thing. There are always people who are going to want to cut down the tallest blade of grass, you know, the one that stands out, or the one with the flower on it, or the one that's a bit different. But, you know, don't let them do that. Just keep on the path that you're on. You're doing the right thing. Don't let these complainers question you, because I think, or make you question yourself, I should say, because I think that might be what's happening. I think people are saying, oh, do this that way, do this. And you think, oh, maybe I should do that way. Maybe I am wrong. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. So just keep on going down the path you're going. You're absolutely doing the right thing. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Okay, so the next card you have your past is the Fool. Yeah. Okay, so this is some kind of, again, I'm seeing this work thing. It's some kind of business or service. It's something like that. I actually think with this, now that you have the Fool card here, now that I'm seeing this here, I think it might be that it's your own business, because the Fool does his own thing. He's his own person, just like you. So I think this might have been your thing. I'm seeing you kind of having a lot of fun with this, experimenting with different ideas, saying, oh, let's see if that'll work. Oh, no, that doesn't work. Let's try this. Oh, that's fun. Let's think about that. Oh, that's a good idea. And you're just doing that, I think. I'm actually seeing a lot of success coming out of this, a lot of success ahead of you. And I've seen this before, some kind of venture that's gradually going to turn into a success for you. And I'm seeing that again here, so that's definite for you. But never lose this playfulness, this experimentation, because I think as you go down this road toward this success, I think you might be tempted to try to stick with a winning formula. You know, like, for example, you might find something that works for you, and then you might just stick with that and repeat it over and over again. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but for you, I think you'd be totally bored if you did that. You know, I think there are other signs that would be fine with that. That's absolutely fine. And doing that can definitely lead to success. It absolutely can. But for you, you need variety, you need change, you need something different. And, you know, it might be that, you know, if this is your business, which I think it might be now that I'm seeing this card, It might be that you eventually leave the original business with someone else to take care of, and you let them run that, and you go do something fun or something different, kind of add on to it. It might be that happens eventually. But you're always going to need to see new things. It's like, what's next? What's new? I've done that. What's next? I can't repeat the same thing. I have to do a new thing. So never lose that fool mentality. New things, fun things. That's a part of who you are. So never lose that. That's what I'm seeing in that card. All right, so the last card you have your past is the Knight of Wands. Okay, I'm sighing because, well, honestly, I don't want to keep on seeing this person coming up in your readings. I think you know who this is. If you've listened to the last reading, maybe even the one before that and the one before that, you'll know what this is about. So I'm not angry with you. Don't think that. I'm not angry. I don't think this is your fault. The feeling I'm getting is someone knows, or they knew, this is in the past, they knew you were healing, starting to heal. They knew you were just about over this, and that's when they decide to come back. That's what I'm seeing. And from what I keep on seeing in your readings, they've done this before, and they'll probably do this again. In and out of your life, in and out of your life. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Now, I'm seeing chaos in the Five of Wands. There's no order in that card at all. It's completely out of control. And this card's like that as well. It's out of control. Now, this is going to sound bossy, I know, but if you're trying to pursue this business or whatever this is you're doing, you don't need any of these chaotic people around you. You just do not need it. Now, I know this is probably a really exciting, passionate person, this Knight of Wands, and it's not an easy kind of person to be able to say no to. I know that, but they've been in and out of your life. They've broken your heart before, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. That's what I'm seeing. Now, if you want to go ahead and see this person again, then that's absolutely up to you, of course. That's fine. But when I keep on seeing this same chaotic person coming up again and again in your readings, I have to say something. I have to. And I was like this in the last reading. See, I'm getting upset again. Not upset, but I'm getting kind of angry. And I don't want to do that, but I'm seeing the same thing again. So if this person's out of your life now, they won't be for long. That's if they have their way. That's if they have their way. So just remember, you're strong. You fought for this autonomy. You fought to be able to make your own decisions, do your own thing. I just want to say this. This is how I'm feeling. I just want to tell you this. I'm feeling this high, this big, beautiful, happy high, and then this drop. So it's like when you're with them, especially at the start, when you're reunited, it's all fantastic. There's this big high, and then there's always a drop. There's always a drop. And that's what's happening with this Knight of Wands. He's on this horse. It's going up and down, up and down. So there's a high, and then there's a drop. Now, I don't want you to feel bad. I really, really don't. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm really not. But you have to remember that that's what happens after a high. There's a drop. And that's what's happened with this person. They've been in and out of your life. You've been that high, that drop, that high, that drop. And chasing after a high and a fall, it's like chasing after a drug. And that's the most chaotic kind of world you can be in, the drug world. And I'm not saying you're going to be in the drug world, but you don't want to chase anything that's a high and a drop like that. It's just not sustainable. And it's not good. It really is not good. You want to get with someone, or you want to be with someone who gives you a kind of a sense of balance. You know where you are with them, they're stable, they're there for you, you can rely on them. That's the sort of person that you want. I know this person's exciting and your heart might be going, no, I want them, I want them. All I can tell you is that's what I'm seeing in that card. All right, so the first card you have your presence, the Page of Cups. Look at this. There are other people around you wanting to offer love to you. There's more than one person I'm seeing, actually. This is a really, really simple card. It's a really fun card. It's quite innocent. You have other people who are interested in you. You might not be ready for them yet, but that's fine. But look at the difference between this card and the Knight of Wands. This page is smiling. He's fun. He looks as if he wouldn't harm anyone. So even if you're not ready for new love yet, just know that, there are other options around you. Don't let this person in the Knight of Wands make you feel as if they're the only option. They're absolutely not. And don't let them take over your head either. I don't want to say any more about them because, they're always in your readings and you know what I think anyway. But the other thing I'm seeing in this card is I'm seeing a little bit of an apology. I'm saying a bit because it's sort of like a half apology. I'm seeing work around this as well, and I'm getting this feeling that I'm getting this left out feeling actually. It feels as if someone left you out of something and it was around the workplace. So I actually think, I think that this is sincere. I think they sincerely feel quite bad about this. I'm not seeing an agenda here either. It's not like, oh, they're trying to apologize because they want something. It's not like that either. But again, I'm not seeing a full apology. So, I don't want to tell you what to do, but for me, I'd be wanting a proper apology. This page might be sincere, but he looks a little bit silly, actually. I mean, look at the way he's dressed. You can't really take him seriously. So if it were me, I wouldn't take this apology seriously, but it's up to you, of course. But yeah, just be ready for this kind of sort of apology. All right, so the next card you have, your presence, the Queen of Cups. Yeah, I think you're going to sense this actually before it even happens. Maybe you can sense it now because you are quite intuitive. I think you do sense this apology's coming or that something's coming from this person. I don't think you feel quite ready to take up any of these offers yet that I'm seeing in the Page of Cups. You're really just keeping to yourself, keeping your emotions to yourself. This Queen's sitting here holding up this cup. But there's a lid on the cup, so she's not showing anyone how she's feeling. And that's how you're feeling for now, I think. You're just kind of keeping to yourself. So, I think your feelings and your thoughts are probably brewing inside this cup somewhere, like a cup of tea. It's all happening in there. There are a lot of thoughts, emotions, and they're all in there. So I think when these are kind of fully formed, when they're all brewed, that's when they'll come out, I think, when you'll be ready to kind of show these feelings and these thoughts. And this card can also be about honesty, emotional honesty. So what I actually think is probably going to happen is when this person in the Knight of Wands comes back to you again, and I think they will, by the time they come back, I think you'll probably have your thoughts all sorted out. You'll have this all brewed. And I think you're just going to have to, or you're going to try to, have an honest conversation with them. No tricks, no games, no going backwards and forwards. Just an open and honest conversation. And I really, really hope that does happen. I do think there is probably going to be a conversation, an open conversation, an honest conversation. And I think you'll just come to either one conclusion or another one about this person. And this is really good. I'm happy to see this here because this is something that has to happen. I think it's been overdue for a long time, I think, because you've been blown away by your emotions. They've come backwards and forwards. And you haven't just sat down, I don't think, and just had an honest conversation and said, okay, this is what I want. I'm happy with this. I'm not happy with that. If we're going to get together, it has to be honest. We want this. There's no coming and going. If you're going to do this one more time, that's it. Absolutely it. Or it might be that, no, I've finished with this now. I'm tired of this backwards and forwards. So it's going to be one or the other, I think. Okay, so the last card you have, your presence, the Lovers. So yeah, this is about a decision. The Lovers is about that. This is the Garden of Eden. So obviously Eve had to make a decision. And this is about love, obviously. So now I just have to say this because I do feel very protective over you. And I can see that you're going to talk to this person again and you're going to see them again. So what I've been seeing all through this reading and in other readings of yours as well, this is someone who's really persuasive. They're probably quite charming, which is what the Knight of Wands is like. And, they know exactly what to say to you, all of that kind of thing. They've come back to you a few times. And I think you've taken them back from what I've seen quite a few times as well, maybe more than once. That's what I'm seeing. So, yeah, I'm not going to say yes, take them back. I'm not going to say no, don't take them back. You already know what I think. But what I will say is, make sure this is your decision. Make sure you're 100% behind your own decision. No one's persuading you. No one's telling you what to do. It's your decision. No one's kind of playing with your emotions. This has to be your decision. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so the first card you have for your future is the Ace of Cups. Okay, I can't quite see what's going to happen here. I can't see what you're going to decide. I wish I could see that. You know, if I could, I'd say, but I can't. I'm just being honest here. What I can see is whatever decision you make, I think you're going to have to go through quite almost a spiritual process, actually, a very deep process, heartfelt, soul-searching, all of that kind of thing. You might even go through this before you make this decision. I hope you do, because I think you'll be in a better place after you've been through this. You might sit on this decision for a while, actually. It's going to be a really good process for you. You're going to come out the other end feeling a lot stronger. But it's not going to feel super fantastic at the time that you're going through this. I've got to say that. I mean, there are tears here, as you can see, and a lot of thoughts, deep thoughts, a lot of emotions. When you do come out of this, there is going to be growth. You know, there are these beautiful water lilies at the bottom of this card. And yeah, again, you're going to be way, way, way stronger. It is going to be good for you. Not a lot of people like to go through this process. A lot of people come to the front of this or the start of this process and they run away and say, oh, that's too hard. You're not going to do that. I think you are going to go through that. And I think it's crucial for you to do that, for you to be able to make this decision, if that all makes sense to you. So yeah, whatever decision you make, I think you're going to be able to cope a lot better with whatever comes after that when you have been through this. So it's going to take a while. It is going to take a while. So probably when you make up your mind about this person, it's going to be a long process, or it is going to be sometime in the future, because you're going to have to go through this first. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so the next card you have your future is the Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful. I love this queen. She's so peaceful, and I think this is exactly what you need. And I think this is also following on from the Ace of Cups. So yeah, I'm seeing family around this as well. So you know, you don't have an amazing relationship with all of your family, but I am seeing one person here who you can go to for advice if you want to, and yeah, you can really trust whoever this is. Now, you might not want to go to anyone for advice, because from what I'm seeing in the Queen of Cups, you really want to keep a lot of these things, your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts, you want to keep all of that to yourself. That's what I'm seeing there. So, and if that's how you still feel by this time, that's absolutely fine. You know, I keep a lot to myself. There are a lot of things I'd never ever share with anyone at all. That's just me. So, but the message here is, if you do need someone just to be around, to confide in, to talk to about this process, or to talk to about this decision, there's someone there for you. And you can trust that person. You can absolutely 100% trust them. So just keep that in mind if you do come to a difficult time with this process, because it is difficult, or in the decision or anything else. You can always talk to them. They're always there for you. That's what I'm seeing there. So the last card you have for your future is the Two of Wands. Okay, this is showing me that you'll probably go through this process that I'm seeing in the Ace of Cups, and it's probably going to happen before you actually make this decision about this person in the Knight of Wands, which is a good thing, because I think you'll be a lot stronger after you've been through that. So I'm really happy to see that. And that's probably why I couldn't see the outcome, I think, because it's this process. It's going through that process that's going to help you to make that decision. Sorry about that noise that's going on in the background. I'm really sorry. It's okay. I'm really sorry about that noise. Okay, so yeah, obviously this is about being at a crossroads, not knowing whether to move forwards or backwards. And I think this is what you're going to be like for a while. You're going to be contemplating, will I go forwards? Will I go backwards? Will I go back to this person? Will I move ahead on my own? And I'm really happy to see this because this man's alone. So it is going to be your decision and only your decision. And you're going to make this by yourself. So I'm really, really happy to see that. Okay, so I know I said I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to give you my opinion. You know what it is already. But look at this card. Okay, so look at what's in front of this man. You know, the world, a beautiful landscape, everything like that. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you move forward by yourself, that's what's in front of you. If you go back to this person, I've got to say this is what I'm seeing. What's behind him? A wand that's bolted to a wall. Do you want to be bolted to the same situation, going around and around and around and again with this person who's very chaotic? Or do you want to be free of that? I had to say that I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to tell you what I think, but you know, I can't help it. So anyway, Leo,